That's right. This week's hyperfixation is sustainability. Okay. Hi, welcome back to the second episode of Hyperfixation. I'm your host, Kyla Wright, and as you read the title of this video and saw the last title card, let's get right into it. Today's topic is sustainability. First, so we all have a collective idea of what we're talking about, I'll be reading you a definition coming from Sustainability's Committee from UCLA. The definition is, sustainability is practices that support ecological, human, and economic health and vitality. And now for other notes that will help you conceptualize sustainability. Great. Now moving on to why I'm obsessed with it, why I'm hyperfixating, and why I care. Number one, as I mentioned before, I'm as old as YouTube. So as many people of my generation, I care about my future, and I care about other people's future, and I care about the idea of us existing past the next 50 years with more fish in the sea than plastic. Other reason why I care, it's good for the earth, and it matters. And we only have one earth. We haven't found another planet to move to, and most likely we wouldn't all be able to move there due to cost and just other technological advances. So we need to take care of what we have. And then lastly, lots of things are wrong with our beautiful Mother Earth, and I would like to be a part of the solution rather than the problem. So yeah, that's why I care. That's why I'm hyperfixating, and that is why it's one of my New Year's resolution goals. So there you have it. Moving on to how. How am I implementing this into my life, and how am I going to do it? Number one, the products that I use. As I don't buy everything for myself, I am a leech and I munch off of my parents, as all good minors do. And so I'm starting very small with my $100 a year allowance. So starting off with my facial care, I'm changing my soap that I'm using to wash my face and the moisturizer that I'm using to moisturize my face, and those little things that A, I've already run out of those things, and B, I've been able to find sustainable options that either have compostable packaging or are made of glass or recyclable packaging, or are just sustainable in general and use good products that are sourced ethically. Starting, the first brand that I'll be using are Ethnic Minis. I, once again, am too cheap to buy the full thing, but just to try it out, I'm buying the minis. The first mini that I'm going to buy is their facial bar. I believe it's called the Bliss Bar. And then the next one I'm trying is the Perfector Mini for a moisturizer. As I said, I'm only purchasing these things now that I've already ran out of my usual product for these things. So and that moves on to the next point that I have, is using what I have before throwing it away or switching to better alternatives. As not being in control of the things that come into my life as far as toys and you know, I have a lot of stuff, and so it would be wrong to discard it immediately for quote-unquote better alternatives. And so making an effort to use everything properly, scraping to the bottom of my bottles and deodorant bars before trying to find something that is more sustainable. That's another sustainable practice that I'm implementing. One sustainable practice I've already been able to implement upon not having any more sunscreen is this little tin sunscreen from Amazon. And it came in a cardboard packaging, so it wasn't full of plastic. And I've been loving it and using it sparingly, but every day. And so yeah, and it helps our coral reefs. Of course, all the things that I'm mentioning will be linked in the description box. Up next, one thing that I will be getting soon, as soon as I'm done with my tube of toothpaste, is getting these Dentatabs. They come in like this compostable like cardboard paper packaging, and they're like these little mint-sized things that you chew for toothpaste. And so I'm gonna try them out. Also trying the sample so I can actually make sure that I use everything, and then if I don't like it, I can get some more or try a different brand. Another thing I'm doing to implement more sustainability in my life is buying clothes all secondhand. I don't have a problem with this as much as other people because, again, I like older clothes as is. So that causes me to do a lot of thrifting or searching my mother's 90s wardrobe. In fact, everything I'm wearing today is secondhand or has been used past its death. So, next, and last but not least, next, I'm taking time to research like how to be more sustainable, how to recycle. Did you know like recycling plastic is really difficult, and finding the rules for recycling specifically for your area is really difficult, and it's a lot of research and it takes time, but I think it's worth it. I think even with the whole debate, like, is recycling worth it? Because a lot of companies aren't buying the raw materials to make new things, which is kind of the whole point. I take the stance that I rather a plastic bottle sit in a place where it has the opportunity to be used again, rather than a place that no one wants to touch it and it just takes up space. So yeah, taking that time to research those things and figure out, oh my God, all types of paper are pretty much recyclable, and I can recycle this in my area, and placing those things where they need to be placed, and taking the time to cut out the little plastic in envelopes so I can actually recycle that envelope. So, and last but not least, and probably my favorite way of implementing sustainability into my life is following eco-friendly accounts. You learn so much from other people, and like the whole thing about like social media being bad for you. This is one way, at least for me, social media benefits me because it gives me more information on how to live the life that I want to live. So, okay, great. Now time from sponsor Kyla. Today's sponsors are two local Black-owned businesses. The first one is Angel Love Creations. They make bath bombs, soaps, oils, butters, lotions, and much more. I think this sponsor is really fitting for today's topic because you can find them at local markets, and they are all handmade. Just so you know, when they're dropping new things or where they're headed, you can follow them on Instagram at Angel Love Creations. Another business that you can find at markets and events and they bottle their sauces locally is Smokin' Butts. They serve barbecue beans, nachos, and some really good barbecue sandwiches, like the Texas and the Hickory. Events and where their truck is headed on their website at smokingbuttsbarbecue.com. In conclusion, I know it was a really long video. There'll probably be a part 2, but yeah, making those choices, putting your money where your mouth is and deciding to do this, like, it's a really big deal and it's important to me, and I want to do things that are important to me and cultivate that life that I want to have. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I really appreciate it. Bye.
He's happy.
1, 2, oh, hi. Hi, welcome back to the second episode of
HyperFixation.
Do you want a chair?
I'm cool. I'm just tempted.
Let me just
Okay. Hi, welcome back to the second